Today we are going to learn more about the size of shadow. There are two marks, mark A and mark B. Mark A is placed 8 cm from the source of light, while mark B is placed 2 cm from the source of light. So mark A is further from the source of light, so it will create a small size of shadow, while mark B is closer to the source of light and it will create a bigger size of shadow. What about the manipulative variable for this test, or what to change? You can pause this video and think before you answer these questions. The answer is the manipulative variable is the distance of object from the source of light. What about the responding variable? The answer is the size of shadow. And the fixed variable is the size of object. What is the observation that you can get from this test? Which shadow is bigger, shadow mark A or mark B? Yes, the size of shadow mark B is bigger than mark A. Can you tell why? Give one inference or reason. Yes, because mark B is closer to the source of light than mark A. What is the conclusion for this test? If the distance of the object from the source of light decreases, the size of the shadow increases. That is the answer. What about the aim or objective for this test? You can use the formula to investigate the relationship between the manipulative variable and the responding variable. So the answer is to investigate the relationship between the distance of object from light and the size of shadow. So you have to remember, if the object is closer to the source of light, the bigger the size of shadow. And if the object is further from the source of light, the smaller the size of shadow. Now, we want to learn about the shape of shadow. The factors that affect the shape of shadow are the shape of object, the orientation of object, and the position of source of light. What is the manipulative variable for this test? The answer is the shape of object. We have changed the shape of object for this test. And the responding variable is the shape of shadow. And the fixed variable is the position of source of light. So the conclusion is the shape of shadow depends on the shape of object. What about this test? The manipulative variable for this test is the orientation of object. What to observe or responding variable is the shape of shadow. And what to keep the same or fixed variable is shape of object. So the conclusion is the orientation of object affects the shape of shadow. And the position of source of light, the manipulative variable is the position of source of light. The responding variable is the shape of shadow. And the fixed variable is the shape of object. So the conclusion is the position of source of light affects the shape of shadow. So you have to remember that the size of shadow is affected by the distance of the object from the source of light. So you have to remember what affects the size of the shadow. And the shape of shadow, there are 3 factors that affect the shape of shadow, and they are: number 1, the shape of object, number 2, the orientation of object, and number 3 is the position of the source of light.